So.
Okay, now here's kind of a little more of a business-related question. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to. I just want to point that out.
Okay.
So obviously your tracks are very well done. Like everyone who's listening just heard Nirvana before the interview started, and obviously the production's great, the beat's great, the lyrics great, the music's great. How much, roughly, a rough figure, does one track cost an artist to make a music of a quality such as that?
Well, it really depends on who you're working with. I mean, I did Nirvana for 2,500 mixing and everything, mastering and writing. Like, we co-wrote together and we made the song, and it was an all-in figure. But that's, I think it's song specific, because then you have other songs where you have a beat given to you by a producer for free. So some producers charge for beats. So, I mean, if you have a beat given to you for free and you top line over it, then you, of course, have a different set of rates, because then you have to take it to a vocal producer who will generally charge by the hour. Then you've got to take it to a mixer who will charge by the hour. Then you've got to take it to a mastering person who will charge by the hour. So it can get pretty expensive in other routes. You know what I mean? So, and then there's other people who will do a track for, like, Buy Me a Drink was a lesser expensive track because I worked with a friend on it, and it was, like, you know, our baby. So we just had to pay for mixing and that kind of thing. So,
Of course.
Yeah, so it really depends on, I guess, who you're working with, but I'd say it all usually averages out between 2,500 and 3,000, like somewhere around there. But unless you're working with a really close friend, then you can have the cost be a bit lower.
Of course. Now, in terms of your success in the future, like, I know I have utmost faith in you that you will eventually get to where you want to be, but I'm asking this just strictly from a curiosity standpoint. Like, if it doesn't happen, like, if you find yourself, because I know it's hard, if you find yourself being like, oh, you know what, I can't wait anymore, I got to do something else, you know, singing's just not going to work out, are you going to regret everything like that you did, that you put so much money into it just for it to not come through, or how are you going to feel about that, if that were to happen?
I would never, I don't know, like, I think I would never regret the money that I put into it, because I've had so many great experiences, and I feel like you can't put a value on the things that you enjoy. I do work and I save up for everything that I do, so, like, I do jobs here and there, and, you know, to really try and put all of my money into it. So, but I don't think I ever would regret that. If anything, if it doesn't work out in pop, my plan is to switch to country music or something like that. So if I don't reach it by a certain age, I'll switch over to country or easy rock or something. So I don't even think I would stop if it didn't happen in pop. I would just try and make it happen somewhere else. So
yeah, I'd be very, very interested to hear that, because I mean, I've heard you sing pop, but it'd be interesting to see how, you know, diverse you can be. It's always good to see how it's always good to see how diverse an artist can be with their music, and, you know, I'd really enjoy hearing you on something such as country or whatnot.
I'd like to hear you sing classical.
Oh, yeah, well, because I have the opera background, so I could do classical too, I guess.
Yeah, I started off in classical too, and then I switched over to pop, so that's something that we have in common.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Yeah, it's really nice to have that foundation, because it makes a lot of other things make sense, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, like, it definitely improves your technique, too.
Yeah, definitely. Breath control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay, now, so, you know, we talked about who you would want to work with, and you mentioned Paul McCartney. Now, that actually kind of leads into, who are your influences? Like, is there anybody in particular that kind of made you want to try out pop? I mean, is there anybody that you kind of, you know, idolize in a way that you look back and say, you know, I'd really like to have the kind of success or sort of be like this person or whatnot?
Well, I'd say, like, I have different influences for different parts of my whole music career. Like, my live show, I really, when I saw what Lady Gaga was doing with, you know, her tour across the United States to really promote her album, and then it turned into a tour of Europe, and then, you know, but she had just 2 backup dancers and herself and a DJ. And when you're doing pop music, I think it's really important to make your show different. So I really liked what she did with the dancers, so I was like, I have to have dancers. So I have backup dancers for the live show. And then I think for music, I grew up listening to classic rock. So I think I have a lot of influences, like just melodically from like Guns N' Roses and Aerosmith and all that kind of stuff. And of course, Cyndi Lauper. I listened to Cyndi Lauper, Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, and Paul McCartney growing up. So those are my musical influences. And then but I really liked what was on Top 40 radio, so I was like, well, maybe I'll try and use some of their vocal influences and put a pop beat behind it. So we'll see how that works out. And it seems to be going okay, I guess, because I like all the harmonies that they did. I feel like harmonies now are, where it's at, so it's to take something from the past and put it in the music.
Of course.
Yeah, I guess that's about it.
Okay. Now, in terms of like the success you have, obviously, I say, I haven't seen your performance, but I've heard it's very, very energetic. So I want to get out there and see that sometime. But in terms of the success that you've had, do you have any aspiring words for the artists that are listening right now? Anything you kind of want to pass off as advice, or sort of words of encouragement, whatnot?
Well, I think as long as you really want to do something, you should never give up on it. If you love it, you should just keep working. And I think somebody told me once when I was like down about my career, they said you have to look at it and say if you are not where you want to be, it's because you're not working hard enough. And it's a hard pill to swallow, but it just means you have to work harder, and you'll get there if you just keep working. So, yeah.
Okay.
What I would say.
Oh, well, thank you very much for your time today. What are your plans for today? What are you doing? You got some music stuff going on today? I know you're in Jersey, so tell us what you got going on.
Well, the hurricane is blowing in as we speak, so probably by sometime tonight we'll lose power, so I'm going to just play as much on my keyboard before the power goes out, and and that's about it, I guess. We've got all of our supplies for the hurricane, so we should be safe, but
oh, that's good. Make sure. Anybody want to give a shout out today while you're on?
I guess I'll say hi to my project manager, Andre Wisdom. And I'll say hi to my mom too, and my dad, and all my friends. So, hi everybody.
Oh, well, yeah. Once again, so thank you very much for sticking with us today.
Oh, thank you very much.
Roxxie, do you have anything else you want to ask real quick? Because I know how much you like Lexi, and I know you love her music, and you yourself are trying to get in there. So, do you have anything else you'd like to ask?
Honestly, I'm just so excited that we're finally talking. Because, I don't know, like, every time your song comes on my iTunes or anything, I'm, like, always dancing, and it's just so cool to, like, actually talk to you.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, it's great to talk to you, too, because I know we've talked a little bit on Twitter, but not much over the phone, so.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, well, I'm excited because we got her brand new song coming up next. Actually, you know what, Lexi? Since you're here, I'm going to get you to introduce it.
Oh, okay. It's just in case, right?
It is, yes. That would be the new song that you have out.
That would be the one, yes, that's it. Oh, sorry, I'm having a blonde moment. It happens.
That's okay.
I have them all the time.
Yeah, right? Coming up next is Just In Case by Lexi Tellings.